to get written in that will, and that's what you want.
So Kevin Samuels feel like if you're 40, you should be on the clearance rack in the dating pool. How do you feel about that?
Well, we see where Kevin Samuels is now, so.
Oh my God, Dave. Oh my God.
It's just.
So I'm assuming you disagree with that.
You have to put that in perspective.
Right. Yeah. I think he was harsh with
This is
but for real. Tell me how I feel. We on that fire. Tell me what's the deal. But for real. Tell me how I feel. What up, everybody? I'm Dave.
I'm Jazzy.
And welcome to your favorite podcast, but for freaking real. We back. Happy New Year.
Yes.
Merry Christmas. All those things. It's 2024. How you been?
I've been good. Living my boring life, same old same, just working.
Living your boring life.
Yes, I have nothing exciting going on right now besides working. That's exciting for me right now. I need all the money I can get, and that's just what it is. Everything gonna have to take a back seat, unfortunately. And yeah, I've just been grinding as much as I can. It's been a journey, like getting to this point where I'm at, where it's like money is so tight, and it's just like, but it's also humbling me, and it's making me like, okay, it's teaching me like, all right, well, you kind of need to sit down, not, make sure you're doing what's important. It's changing my values of things. There's a lot of things that I didn't think that I would be able to like stop doing. That I had to stop doing. And I'm like, you know what?
Like what? If you want to talk about it. You ain't got to if you
don't. Well, I'm a smoker. And I do not do that anymore. And I'm really excited about that because that was a struggle for me. I knew that eventually I would stop. But you know how you'll say like, yeah, eventually, well, one day.
Right.
But you never really have a real intent. Like you never are intentional about stopping.
Right.
And this situation really made me like real. Like I said, it's really opened my eyes to what I value and what I need to value. And like, I'm really excited about that. Like just understanding like that's just not me anymore. You know what I mean? It's not me anymore. It's not what I value. It's not the woman that I'm trying to become. And yeah, like that was a big deal for me. And it was a struggle at first. And then like one day, I think it was like a couple days ago, I got out the car and I just thought about it like, I haven't even thought about it. And that was an accomplishment to not even think about it. And I'm just like, oh, that's great. Like,
good.
I don't know. So it's growth, and that's what it's supposed to be about. So I'm excited for that. So yeah, I'm pretty great. I'm pretty proud of that accomplishment. And I'm just ready to see, what's next? What else am I going to give up? What else is the next sacrifice? What else is it going to take for me to get to the point I'm trying to be at? So, yeah, pretty proud of that sacrifice.
I'm proud of you. I am. Yeah. My bad. Man, what's been going on?
Yeah, what's been going on with Mr. Busy Dave?
Staying busy. Life has been crazy. I got a new job out of the state, but I can work from home.
Oh, okay.
So that's new.
Are you still going to, do you still have to travel with it or no, you're strictly home?
I will have to travel sometimes. So I'll be back and forth.
Yeah.
Between here, South Carolina. As y'all know, my wife and I are having a baby.
Yes.
And I told him, I was like, I'm not uprooting her during this pregnancy and trying to go through that whole process again.
Yeah.
And they agreed, everything. And yeah, so
period.
Been working a lot. Clients are building up, which means my team has to expand beyond me, or I will be ran into the ground. So
for sure.
I'm looking forward to just expanding the team, building more clients, building relationships, and preparing for this dad life, which I don't even know how you prepare for that. So
you can't.
Right.
You
and
can't.
people are like, well, make sure you do this. I'm like, listen, I appreciate all advice.
Right. It's not.
My baby ain't your baby. So
It's not black and white at all.
it ain't. Like, when the baby get here, we will go from there. Until then, we chilling.
So how far along is she? Do you know the gender yet?
We find out the gender today.
Oh my God. Are you hoping for
A boy.
Really?
Actually, I'm hoping for healthy baby.
Well, for sure.
However,
for sure. No
I
girl?
wanted a girl at first,
Okay.
but I, for some reason, think it's a boy. I can't shake that feeling.
Okay.
My pants is blending in with this couch, but whatever. I don't care.
It definitely is.
It doesn't matter.
So annoying.
Sidebar. Anyway, but I am excited
Yes, that's so exciting today.
to know what the gender is. We can prepare.
Absolutely. Now that you can't prepare for.
Right. So yeah, we
That's
find
about
out
it, though.
today. My sister is going to do the reveal for us.
Oh.
So she already.
Oh, you're doing like a gender reveal?
Yeah.
Oh, period.
So my sister already knows.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
She gave you a little hint, a little blink.
I tried to yesterday.
little sister brother telepathy.
Yesterday she called me. She FaceTimed me, and I was like, "Yeah, I can't wait to meet my son." And I was trying to see if she made a face, but she did good. She didn't break. She didn't break at all. So we find out today.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Super excited. And yeah, just trying to.
That's super dope. A little baby Dave.
Yeah.
Will he be a junior? If
No.
Oh, did y'all already pick names out? You don't have to share them.
We agreed on the name Israel.
Oh, so cute. So boy and girl.
Yeah.
That is so dope.
Yeah.
I love unisex names. I don't know what it is about unisex names. I just think they're super dope.
The name's Israel.
Well, some
if it's a boy,
unisex names.
Or right. If it's a boy or a girl, the name will be Israel.
That is so beautiful.
The middle name will depend if it's a boy or a girl.
Right.
So yeah, that's what's going on. I'm super
we're
excited
for Israel.
Yeah. Super excited for the year.
Yes. I can't believe it's 2024. Like, I just be like,
yeah.
Really?
Can you believe we've been doing this for a year?
I can't.
We've been doing this for a year now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about.
It really is. It really, really is. I was going back through my messages. I'm like, oh, wow. Like 2022, like January 2022 is when we started.
That's when we
started. Or was
started.
it 2023?
2023. Yeah.
Sorry. See, I still can't. I'm not in 2024 yet. I don't think 2024 has all the way registered with me yet.
Hilarious.
It's just
and by the time it do, it'll be 2025.
Right.
But
oh my daughter about to be 13 this year. Like that,
Is she really?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is too much. Where is my youth at? It's gone.
Bella is a freshman, and I still can't.
A freshman where?
Right. Exactly.
She is not a freshman.
Meaning next year she'll be a sophomore.
No, she's not. Absolutely not.
My baby is growing up. And
oh my gosh. High school life.
I don't enjoy it. And when I say she is like the epitome of a high schooler. Oh.
Right. My daughter's Christmas list was so different. Okay.
Oh my Lord.
Money and clothes. Like what? What happened to Barbie? Okay. No toys, no tablets, no electronics, just clothes and money. Oh, okay.
And it's like
it's expensive clothes and money.
She's in the dumb phase right now.
Oh my.
Now
what's that mean?
My baby is brilliant. She's wonderful. She's sweet, and I hope she keeps that. But you know how when we was freshmen, we thought we knew everything, and we was really
right. Yeah,
we were really dumb,
extremely, actually,
so dumb.
We knew nothing.
We knew absolutely.
I still know nothing, so I can only imagine.
Nothing. And it's just like,
oh,
I want to tell you, but you got to learn on your own.
It's gonna go through one ear and not the other.
So yeah.
Freshman. Oh God.
Yeah, just All right, we're done talking.
All
about
right,
it.
yeah.
Anywho, we're happy to be back.
That's
we're
a
happy
little
y'all are back to tune in. This first segment, of course, y'all know, is called Let's Get Personal.
Is that all the cards we went through?
I have no idea.
Oh, Lord.
I was looking at them like,
Who was over here playing with these cards?
whatever. What's the first one in 2024? Or did we do that one already?
When was the last time? No, this is only the 8th day or 7th day of 2024. When was the last time you had a serious disagreement with someone, and how did you resolve it?
Serious disagreement. Probably the name of this child.
Really?
Yeah,
So who thought of Israel?
I did.
And that was not agreed upon.
Well, no, it took like 76 names before we got to Israel.
Okay.
And my wife, she's just very picky and always, like most women are, like very picky. And
did she want to make up a name?
no.
Okay. She wanted to be a...
I wasn't going to have that. No.
I tried to make up a name that got shut down by my baby dad too.
No, my wife just doesn't like any name. Like, it's very, how do I put this? Complicated.
Yeah, it is hard picking a name because it's like, you know, you want it to be something that means something or something.
I remember, I don't even know what I was doing. The name Israel just came to me, and she was like, I love that name. I said, great. Cool.
Right?
We're here. We're done.
Write it down.
I'm not going through this anymore. We have a name. We agreed on one. We're sticking with that. So was it
a serious argument? Like y'all really was like, this, listen.
We actually argued
I'm getting mad at each other.
about the middle name. We argued about the middle name because I was like, well, if it's a boy, it'll have my middle name. If it's a girl, it'll have yours. She was like, y'all know how y'all get.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't really think that in all the swinging and singing and...
Not the swinging and singing.
Yeah, that's what y'all do. And so I was like, well... And of course, because I have a smart mouth, I was just like, well, you're not thinking of anything. So I was just like, if you don't come up with something, this is just what it's going to be. And of course, because y'all be sensitive, she got offended. And it kind of started like a little not really a back and forth, because she said her piece. And I was just like, okay.
Your favorite thing to say.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Should have said okay to the first name she picked.
I was... No.
Then you wouldn't have had this serious disagreement you had to resolve.
She was like, I like the name Navy. I said, for who?
That's cute, though.
For whose child? No.
Oh, my God. That's cute.
No. No. The answer is forever and always no.
The next child. Y'all got to compromise.
No, we don't. I ain't got to compromise nothing.
Oh, my God. Y'all are so bad.
Not for Navy.
Not for Navy.
No.
Only on clothes, not only a color.
My child will not be named after a fruit, a color, nothing.
A fruit, though?
Yeah. It's some people, I don't know who
named is Kiwi?
What actress, shut up. What actress, but she named her child Apple.
That's not horrible.
And it's also not cute. So
it's not, It's
no,
not
thank
that
you.
great.
No, thank you. So yeah, I think that was the last
pretty normal to have that disagreement.
I
had that. I shared that same thing, and it was the same situation that you did. Like, it just came to me. Jordan just came to me, and everybody agreed, and I was just like, okay. Because I was trying to make up some stuff, and I got it from my mom. My mom was trying to make up some stuff too.
Hilarious.
And my daughter's dad was like, absolutely not. We are going to name her a normal name. We are not going to put 17 syllables in our child's name. No. And I just noticed I got my AirPod on.
Hilarious.
I was really trying to put 17 syllables in my daughter's name. So I'm so glad I didn't do that to her. So I get it. That's a serious moment.
So what was the last disagreement you had?
I'm trying to think. I haven't had any disagreements in a long time.
No,
And besides, like in my business, maybe.
Not even with. True.
Not even what?
With the guy.
That is no longer a thing. Something is wrong with me a little bit. I'm still growing and learning.
I really want to know what happened, but you don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, it will be. I mean, I don't care. I really don't care. So what happened? Do you want to know what happened?
I do, but
off air.
See, yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah,
about
we'll
it
talk
because I got questions. Because I remember seeing stuff in your stories, and I was like,
yeah.
I want to know.
It's a lot going on.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot going on.
Yeah, you're not going.
But he's not going on anymore. So that's that. And honestly, before that ended, I mean, we really never had arguments, honestly. So I mean, that was the great thing about us. We didn't really have big disagreements. Like our disagreements was like 5-minute conversations, and it was just left at that. But I would say like my last serious disagreement was probably in my business. Just dealing with another human professionally can be difficult sometimes. Especially because my business partner is my ex, and there's a lot of I don't know, emotions, whatever. I don't really know what stems our arguments. But he had valid reasoning for being upset. Just about like we have disagreements on how we handle business, basically. You're dealing with a business partner, and it's like that's why a lot of people don't like business partners, because it's like you have to always, you're doing one thing, and the weight you're pulling, you feel like this person needs to be pulling this weight, and this person needs to be pulling. So it's just like, and I've never had, and I told him, and I guess this goes to the second question. So the first question is, when's the last disagreement? It was in business. It was him disagreeing or not being okay with how I move in business. And how what I did to resolve it was kind of just, one, I didn't indulge at the time, because at the time he was irate and he was just like going off on me. It was so funny because I'm leaving the movie theater with my daughter and her friend, and he calls me like, "Where you at?" And then he just started, I don't even know what he said. He just started blowing up. Like, it was just like, I have no idea. I couldn't make out a single word that he said. It was that kind of blow up. And it was literally out of nowhere.
How did you handle that?
I was just like, because he was asking me where I was at, and I told him, and then he just started going off, and he hung up. And then I called him back a few times, went over to the house that we're working on. He wasn't there. Called him back a few times after that. He finally picked up, and he was just like, super calm at that time. And he was just like, it is what it is, whatever. And I just kind of told, he wasn't really calm. We had a conversation, but we really didn't get anywhere. I was trying to understand him, because again, if you're yelling and screaming, we already talked about this, it doesn't get received. It's not something that anyone can receive. Right. So I'm just like trying to receive as much as I can and, remaining calm and all of that, but it just wasn't working. So I just shot him a text like, you know what, I get you're frustrated, whatever, we could talk about this another time, whatever. So that's kind of how I resolved it. And then after that, we were able to have a calm conversation about it. And I told him, I'm like, hey, I'm not going to be mad at you for having any feelings about how I do business with you. You are totally well within your rights to feel a way about whatever you want. You know what I mean? If you feel like I should be doing this and I should be doing that, that's a conversation. I'm always open to that, but the yelling and screaming part is just not going to get the job done. And, I kind of just reminded him of what we're trying to do. We're trying to get this house done. We're trying to get it sold. If that's your real goal, then you need to be talking to me as if that's your real goal. Right. Let's not have these conversations that doesn't lead to that. This conversation is going to lead to us cussing each other out. Good thing that I am really growing, because, normally when he cusses me out, it gets ugly, because I am not the person to do that with. I'm going to give it right back to you. To the point where, we might get into a physical, like it gets bad. So I don't, so I'm very proud of myself that I didn't like cuss him back out, because honestly, I was cool. I was at peace. I'm not worried about you being so upset and angry. Right. I was cool. I went home and went to sleep, slapped on my pillow. Like, I was not concerned about that. But I was happy that we were able to have that, calm conversation again. And we were able to, and we were able to hear each other out, and then we were able to improve on that, ever since then. And this was like, I want to say it was maybe last month. It might have been a month before. Again, like I said, it's been a minute since I've had like a blowout with him or anything. And I think it's because of that. Just kind of like the way I handled it, like, hey, you're upset. I'm going to take a step back. You go to sleep. We're going to wake up and start over. So
right.
I was pretty proud of that moment. And I think our relationship has gotten so much better after that. Like, we're able to just disagree without cussing each other out. And we obviously have to. Like, we have to get this stuff done. We have been doing this house since May, and we're still working on this house.
Wow.
It's frustrating, and I get it. It's frustrating for him. It's frustrating for me. But regardless of the frustration, we're not going to get it done if we cannot effectively communicate. So who cares about anything other than the solution? And so now I feel like our minds is focused on the solution, and that's where the conversation is kind of going now. So
good.
Yeah, that was the last serious disagreement. My life's been pretty easy going. I don't really do much or interact with people anymore like that. I kind of just be in my own little world, just working and going home. So no real big, crazy drama disagreements going on over here. It is a lot going on, but nothing like crazy drama like going on, which is great.
I was about to say, you seem calm.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
I know. And I've noticed that about myself a little bit.
But your nails ain't done.
I know.
You're calm.
Well, I can't afford it.
I'm like who is this woman? I don't.
I can't afford it. And then honestly, I'm growing out of that too. I'm growing out of a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, the only reason why I'm wearing a wig right now is because I started back bartending, and just wearing my natural hair. I don't like having to maintain it throughout the time that I'm at the bar, whether I'm sweating it out, whatever. It's just much easier to be behind that bar, whether I'm sweating, whatever, to just have a wig on. But honestly, I wouldn't even be having this wig on if it wasn't for me having to work tonight. So it's just a lot of things that I've given up. It's a lot of things that I just don't identify with anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't talk about it. I didn't make an announcement about it or nothing. It's just kind of where I'm at. And like I said, with my financial situation, it's kind of made things clearer for me, like what my values are and what's important to me. And none of that is important to me anymore. Nails is not important to me. I do not care. It's like, so that's kind of where I'm at,
That's amazing.
I'm happy to be calm.
I love it. I think it's great.
I'm sure, Crazy Jazzy will come out at some point. I don't think that I am all the way, I do not believe in myself that much to not continue to be intentional about my growth. I don't think I can just fully just depend on my just natural state of being this woman. I feel like I do have to be intentional about it. I do have to think about it. I do have to assess my feelings and assess who I am and who I want to be constantly, daily. I have to constantly remind myself of what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to accomplish to be this woman, to present this woman. It's not as natural as I would want it to be, but it's definitely getting there, and I'm excited for that.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Self-care. Mm-hmm. How are you doing with self-care? Like, are there some things you're doing to take care of Jazzy?
I think just sitting with myself more, just sitting with myself and really thinking about reflecting more. I think I don't have any external self-care. I don't have anything external, but it's all internal. It's all just mental reflection, constantly reflecting, like I was just saying, constantly reminding myself of what needs to be done. How can I get this done? Constantly figuring out, mistakes I've made and how to be better at my decisions and things like that. I think self-reflection and just sitting in silence, not having to have music on, not having to have the TV on, reading more, listening to more podcasts of women who are like me or not like me. You know what I mean? More like the woman I'm trying to be. Trying to be more engaged with those type of women, trying to build a network of those type of women that I want to be around. I think that's my self-care. My self-care isn't anything external. It's not going to get a massage. It's not getting a facial. It's not going to get my nails and toes done. It's literally all internal things. Anything that makes me better internally, having conversations with people, and allowing perspectives to help me with what I have going on, and just accepting accountability and all of those things. So I think that's really my self-care. And also just my relationship with my family. I think that's self-care for me. Just being better at that, just, communicating with my family more and just making sure that I hold on to that relationship. Losing my grandpa was huge. I'm still haven't all the way, like, what do you say? I haven't
grieved.
Yeah, I don't think I've really grieved or coped with that. It's actually still weird to talk about my grandpa because it doesn't seem like he's really gone. It's just weird. Like, but yeah, so it's just family, building a relationship with family, relationship with my dad. I'm hoping to get that relationship together. I know that's very important. And I need to be more intentional about that. And, all of that I consider, my self-care for sure. What about you?
Man, I've been working so much. But I did start to do certain things that I don't enjoy doing that I know are beneficial for me. Like reading. Hate it. But I found out I really do well with audiobooks.
Yes. So, if it wasn't for audiobook, honey, I wouldn't listen. It's so hard to just sit and read. Like, your mind we have 1,000 tabs in our head all day. Yeah. I just need something to listen to, and I drive a lot, so audiobooks is perfect for me.
Yeah, so I started one already. It's good.
Well, what's your criticism? Like, what's the criticism behind it?
The
it was
author is reading it, and I hate her voice. Like,
oh my God!
The topic,
that would mess it up.
The topic is good. So I'm getting through it that way.
Yeah.
Her voice, though, I'm like, Jesus, Lord, help me.
That is weird. Normally, it's with audiobooks, it's a soothing voice. Like, that's the whole.
Well, hers ain't. It sounds like Katt.
How did she get hired then? Because you have to, like, audition to do those things.
Well, she wrote it. It's the author.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
She didn't have to audition.
It was just like.
Oh,
Lord help me.
Yeah.
But.
The message is important.
The message is good. It's a book about codependency and how to not.
Oh, that's good.
How to not be so controlling. Yeah.
So codependency and controlling is kind of hand in hand.
So it's like she talks about the trauma you go through that makes you codependent on people. That causes you to be controlling in your relationship.
You're going to have to share that book with me because I know that I was codependent. I don't think I'm so much anymore, but you never know. I haven't really engaged enough to really test that and see how codependent I'm not anymore. Yeah. But I know that I was codependent. I know that I probably was controlling in that aspect. So I think that was a good read for me for sure.
I'll send you the screenshot.
Do you think you're codependent? Is that why you was reading it?
No, I think I know a lot of people who are.
Okay.
And these people come to me for help.
Okay.
Because, like before, I am a calm person. Like,
yeah.
So a lot of people come and talk to me.
For sure.
Because I'm going to tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. And I don't really care what you do with that or how you feel about it. So.
Shut up.
I'm not really affected either way. Even though I really want you to do well in life.
Man, your business right after that conversation.
Right after we had that conversation, I'm
on to the next thing.
On to the next thing, man. Like,
no, yeah, that's how it should be, though.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because I don't want you to feel like I'm being biased towards anything. Like, I care about you.
Yeah.
But if you don't care about you,
yeah, right.
What do you want me to do? Like,
yeah,
I would just sit here and tell you the truth.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of codependent people know that they're codependent, so that's a whole other conversation in itself.
Right.
I didn't think I was codependent. I thought I was doing everything I was supposed to do. I thought that was relationship standards. Like, no, it's codependency. So yeah, that's a great topic actually.
Yeah,
codependency.
So it's good. I just can't stand her voice. So yeah, this next segment is called "Let's Keep It Real." What are we getting real about today?
So I think we started the dating series last time.
We did.
And we talked about the approach. The next segment of that would be the dating part, right? So after you approach, we actually start the date, right? And of course, that's kind of a very popular topic right now. Dating is this huge dilemma, especially in our community. And I don't know all the way if it's really a dilemma, or if it's, are we being delusional? Is it an illusion that it's a dilemma? Or, you know. So, of course, I have a little definition of dating. It says a social romantic appointment or engagement, or a social romantic appointment or engagement. Yes, that's what it says. And then, of course, I had to look up romance as far as what a definition of romance is. And romance is a feeling or excitement and mystery associated with love. What are your thoughts on those definitions?
I mean,
a romantic appointment of engagement. And then when you say romantic, you go to romance is a feeling or excitement and mystery associated with love.
I think Merriam-Webster got it pretty well.
Shut up.
But I think their definition is in a physical sense. Mm-hmm. Like you making a point in time with this person to spend time with this person. I think dating, even when married, is still important because a lot of people who get married stop dating because they become so focused on other things. Which honestly, I think to me, along with sex, honestly, to me, it's more important than sex, is actually dating.
So what is dating when we're talking about a romantic appointment of engagement? Is there an idea in mind? Like,
I think it's
this
different.
Picture in mind when we think of that definition?
I think it's different from when you're single and when you're married. I think it's when you're single, even though the similarities cross over. Mm-hmm. But the differences, I believe, is when you're single, you're putting your best foot forward to get to know this person. Mm-hmm. When you're married, you're just finding ways to keep the spark going.
Yeah.
So when you're single, you're trying to see if there is a spark, if there is something to keep coming back to.
Absolutely.
When you are married, you date to keep that flame lit.
Right.
To find out what's something new about your husband or your wife. What do they like now? Because when y'all first got married, they liked certain things. Yeah. Now that you 4 or 5 years in, they not that same person no more. So I think those are the differences in when it comes to dating when you're single and when you're married. Yeah. However, I think information is the most important part of dating.
What does that mean?
So you're finding out information about this person. Mm-hmm. And based on the information, you have a decision to make. Mm-hmm. Do I want to keep finding out more information about this person or don't I?
Yeah.
And so I think dating must be intentional.
Yeah. So. I think that's dope that you say information is the best part, because that makes me think about the definition of how it's a mystery in romance. And what I like about these definitions is they're so abstract.
Right.
There's nothing, it just makes me think about like all the things that we talk about when we talk about the dilemmas in dating. If we're looking at the definition of dating, if we're looking at the definition of romance, is there really a dilemma, or are we changing the definition of dating and romance? And because we're changing the definition of it, is that what's causing the dilemma? Because I feel like dating, if we're looking at this definition, it's just a romantic appointment of engagement. That could be anything. That can look like anything.
Absolutely.
With any type of person, with any type of two people. And that's what I loved about the definition. It's very vague. It's very abstract. It's very, broad. There's no, well, this is a real date. And how you'll hear like, this is a real date. A date is a date. It could be whatever.
Right.
It really could be whatever. If it's an appointment of engagement where there's romance, and a romance is just feeling of excitement and mystery, which you talked about information being the very important part. you know, because you're trying to get to know a person. That's the mystery of a person. You're getting to know a person, even in marriage. I think it's the same thing. You know, you talked about the differences, but I think there's a lot of similarities as well.
Of course.
Because when you're growing in marriage, and obviously this is me saying this outside of a marriage, I really don't know. But I would assume if I'm in a marriage and it's a long-term forever thing, I am changing and changing and changing and changing. I am not the same person you married when we, you know, first got married. I'm not the same person you met 10 years later. So yes, I feel like dating is different for single and marriages, but I think it's also the very same thing. It's learning the person. And when you're talking about that, I think that kind of changes the whole narrative of the date and pool dilemma, because there is no real rules to it. You know what I'm saying? The only rule is you're engaging with a person. That's it. I think it doesn't matter what it looks like.
I think people need to figure out or learn what is dating to them, because dating, of course, in the generality is that definition.
Yeah.
But some people have high standards when it comes to dating. Some people are just like, honestly.
But is that really dating though? Can you really change? Yes, you can. I'm sure you can as a person change your standard of dating, but is that really dating to have a standard of dating? I think that's the question.
Well, I think it depends on what your intentions are. Because if it's a appointed set time, like we said, anything can be a date.
Anything.
But when you add the romance to it, some people are huge, hopeless romantics, and some people are really just chill. I like a walk in the park.
But that's romance.
Right.
Romance is what? A feeling or excitement. So my thing is, how can external factors make you feel excited? How can there be some type of mystery involved because you gave me flowers, because you did rose petals, because we went to Ruth Chris? Is there really any romance in that? I don't think romance is developed from external factors. And so that's what I mean when I say, if there is a standard of dating, especially externally, is that real? That's not a real standard of dating to me, because that's not what dating really is. That's not what dating really is about. It's not really about the external factors. I mean, of course, that's just my opinion. And
that's, I think that's what I was getting at. Like, for you, it's not about the external thing.
Yeah.
But for some people, they think dating has to involve some sort of external aspect.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy is I think, and I was going to talk about this a little later, but I just think that a lot of people who have this external association with dating are not married, never been close to being married.
Right.
So it's like, you know, you have this external standard and that's great, but is it really great? Because it's not working. Right.
Right.
So I guess that's the whole point, right, of me asking the thoughts of dating and bringing out the definition and bringing out what it really truly is, because I think we have misconstrued what dating is. We have changed the definition. We've changed the definitions all the time. And then when we change the definition and make things more difficult to connect with people, we still get mad at the fact that we don't connect with people. It just maybe we should be more concerned about actually connecting with people and not connecting with what they can externally provide, right? So yes, I think that's my thought. As when I read the definition, I'm like, wow, this is very abstract. And that's already what I thought about dating. And then like one of my favorite movies, The Notebook. It's just one of my favorite movies. It's just, I don't know. Noah is I just love Noah. Like, he was just so dope. But Noah was a poor man, okay? He was a poor man. What date did they go on? What rose petals did he lay out for that woman? And she fell madly in love with him. And she had everything. She didn't need that boy. She could have had any boy she wanted.
Because he gave her something that most men could not give her.
He gave her excitement.
He gave her feelings. He gave her excitement. Mystery. And he wasn't impressed by none of that stuff.
No.
Things that most men are like, oh, I gotta up one, because she got a lot, so I gotta come with. He was like, look,
everything wasn't nothing. There was nothing external about the Notebook.
There was nothing flashy about it. He was like, look, This is me.
Right.
This is what I like to do for fun.
At least he was working. He wasn't
Right.
making a lot, but he was working. He got up. He wasn't chilling at home, rubbing his feet together.
And the thing is, he saw her.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. When you see her and she feels seen by you,
yeah,
all that extra stuff don't matter.
Right. And that's the point, right? Because if we can get to the point where that's what we are intentional about. I want to see you. I don't care about the externals. The externals don't matter. The externals doesn't fulfill a relationship.
Right.
The externals don't create longevity in marriages. The externals don't actually matter. But when it comes to us and creating these obscene standards of dating, and then we wonder why we're single because we don't care about the internal. We are not intentional about the internal. We are not intentional about, what Noah was intentional about. I don't remember him taking her to no dinner, no nothing. They went to a random street and laid on the ground in the middle of the street, and that was exciting to her.
Right.
But it was only exciting to her because it was him. It was him that she was with. She was interested in him.
Most people,
him as a person.
They didn't date.
They didn't really date.
He courted her.
Okay. And I thought about that too. Like, is there a difference between courting and dating?
Yeah. Courtship is more intimate. Courtship doesn't have an agenda. The goal is to get to know you.
Right.
And to have intimate moments with you.
Yeah.
So I see you and you feel seen by me.
Yeah.
So whether we are out to eat or we sitting in the car looking at the stars and we just talking.
Yeah.
The thing doesn't matter.
Right.
What matters is us in the moment.
Yeah.
Which is what I think most people get wrong with this whole dating thing.
Yeah.
You make it about the thing that we're doing.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the thing. The reason why I'm out with you, is because I want to be with you.
Right.
Now, if you care about the thing, great. I don't. I want to get to know you. That's the reason why I asked you out to go on a date.
So why do you think that is? Like, why do you think? Because if you watch movies like that, that was in the old days and all of that. But when you watch movies like that and you watch these movies where they fall in love and it's this fairy tale love and all of that, you don't really see a man whining and dining and doing all of that. You just see two people that just was at the, the store together and they saw, whatever. And they was having fun at the grocery store. They at Walmart. They had, whatever. And that's how they fell in love. They saw each other. It's never all this stuff that we talk about now, like, oh, what a real date is and the Cheesecake Factory thing. Like, it's just, these are the conversations. It's like, what does this really have to do with dating? It doesn't have anything to do. So I'm just wondering where the shift came. Like, where do you think the shift came between, like, me actually being interested in a person and the persona of a person and core values of a person? And how did that shift to, well, I want to see where he takes me. That's going to determine whether I'm going to go on a second date. I want to know if he's going to take me here or vice versa. I want to know how she's going to whatever. You know what I mean? Like, where did the shift come? Like, why did we shift?
I don't know.
Why did we care?
I don't know
why did
when
we
it
care
happened.
so much about that?
I'm not sure when it happened. I do know that society and media play a big part. Because you can't tell me back when black people was working in fields.
Right.
We couldn't go nowhere. So
okay.
We couldn't wine and dine. We couldn't do none of that.
Right.
Like, it was really you really had to get to know each other to build.
Having the options maybe is where it shifted.
Right. So it's like the moment options became a thing, I think, and people started making money, that became attractive. It's really
because it was really always attractive, right? Like, we always wanted that. We just didn't have the.
But I think it really depends on what your goals are, what influences you.
Yeah.
If money impresses you, then that's just what you always gonna be attracted to.
Yeah.
And so if you see a dude and he ain't got it like that,
yeah,
that's just not your thing. But I always question, if that's not what you are influenced by, would you still say no to the guy who doesn't have it?
Right. Right.
But it's usually the things you always go for. It's usually your type.
Yeah.
That it never works out that way anyway.
Right. Exactly. Your type end up being somebody you never would have thought would have been your type.
Right.
Yeah. So I just think it's interesting that there was this massive shift of what we view as dating. You know, I don't think we used to view dating the way we view dating now. Like our favorite romance movies, nobody was wined and dined. Nobody had these crazy, extraneous expectations of each other. They just fell in love with being in the presence of each other. And I just think we kind of fell away from that. Right. How do you feel about this having it all together expectation? Like, do you feel, where are you at with how much does somebody have to bring to the table? How much of, I'm trying to figure out how to ask it. Where are you at with like, okay, I need this much from this person. I need them to come to me with this much. I don't want to have to deal with certain things with a person. I need them to actually come to me with it already together. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think.
Like, what is your thoughts on this having it all together aspect? Like, don't start dating, because I see those all the time where people will say men shouldn't date until they're super financially secure. I don't really agree with that.
I completely disagree. You will never have it all together.
That's a very good point.
You will never in your life. Because here's the thing. One thing I've learned. Once you get here, you're not going to be satisfied.
Right.
You're always going to want more.
Yeah.
Or you're always going to feel, how can I be better? How can I do better? That's just how human nature is in general. So whatever you think all together is,
it ain't. Because once you get that,
it ain't.
It's going to be something else.
Right. So it's just like, once you reach the goal, okay, now what?
So do you feel like it's the same for men and women in that aspect?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And also, why are you so concerned in the beginning what somebody else is bringing to the table?
We're just dating. We're just having a conversation.
What in the world? What are you?
I don't even know if I like you like that to be that concerned about your pockets.
Right. Like, what is your character like?
Yeah. No, for sure.
How do you treat the waiter and the waitress? That's stuff I look at, because if you can't respect them, ain't no way. Yeah. And I take respect. That's like top 3 for me. Yeah. So it's like, no.
Yeah. Mm-mm. So what about like foundational things? Like, if we can all agree there's this foundation expectation of adults, right? Job, car, house. What about those 3 things? So do those 3 things should happen before dating?
No. It's about the person.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, why are you concerned about all that on the first date? I'm just getting to know you now.
Yeah. And then it's like, for me, it's like, if you're so concerned about having it all together, your partner coming into the dating field with you, having it all together, if that's a big concern, I'm wondering if it's because you're trying to benefit from what they have. You know what I mean? Like, right. If I'm my own person and I know where I'm going and I know what I'm doing and I know what I don't have it all together and I know I'm trying to get here and I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to do that, and I know it's going to happen with or without whoever I'm dating, why am I so concerned about the person I'm dating and what they have and all of that? That's not going to change what I have going on.
Here's my thing, right? We're so concerned with the wrong things. Like, I do believe, though, you should come in making sure your values are the same, or at least close. Or finding out do you want to be married? Do you want to have kids? Like,
100%.
If your goal is to stay married and they have no...
But if he take you to Ruth Chris, you don't even get to that conversation, because I'm so happy I got this steak. So
But
you won. You got points.
But it really depends on the person. Like, what are your goals?
No,
especially if you're like,
I'm saying if your goals was to be married. But
right.
that doesn't even come up in the conversation because you're so excited about all the external things that's being provided for you. Maybe you're assuming that. Right. You're falling in love with that and you're hoping that that's what he wants. But you don't even get around to that conversation because you're just in Twilight Zone with the external factors.
Oftentimes, people make the mistake that you can change people's mind. Mm-hmm. You cannot. If somebody is not ready to be married, there's nothing you can do.
Why would you want to? That is like the biggest.
There's nothing you can do.
Thing. I would never want that. I would never want that. I remember I told my ex before when we were together, I'm like, and I don't know if this is like a good or bad thing to say, but I told him, I said, I want this to always feel optional. Do you know what I mean by that?
Say more.
I know, right? That's kind of weird to say, but what I was trying to say was, I want this to always feel like, I mean, of course you want to feel like you need you know what I mean? Like, because I'll hear men.
Okay, I got you now.
Okay.
I was waiting for a certain word.
Okay.
You just said it. I'm kind of the same way. I don't want you to need me.
Yeah, it's just like, I want you to want me.
I want you to want me.
Yeah.
Because
I want you to be able to walk away and don't. That is more powerful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because let's be all the way real. Anybody could walk away at any moment. That's just the truth of the matter. We don't like to talk about it because it takes away from the beauty of relationships. But all relationships in general, everything ain't cute.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna always be cute.
Yeah.
In marriage, you probably gonna have some more ugly times than cute.
Right.
It's like, that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But I've learned people don't want to grow together.
Right.
They want everything to be beautiful and cute and have the magic all the time. And it's like, no.
Not at all.
That's why people, for some reason, they don't stay married for 40, 50 years now. It's because
anymore.
It's because you lose yourself in the ugly parts when really that's the time to really come together.
Yeah.
When everything is all Gucci and gold and cute, that's the time to be like, we chilling. Like, we good. Things are on the right course.
Right.
But when things get hard, that's when you dig in. Like, hey, we a team. Let's get back to the drawing board. Where did we go off? Like, right. But people don't want to do that.
And that's a great point because it's great because it ties back to having it all together. I always told people, like, not having it all together is a perfect building moment. Like, that's the perfect building moment for you two. You see, if you can just strip a person from all the external factors, you really see who that person really is. So if I was to say, like, I want a man to have it all together and he's just all suited up, career, all that, am I really seeing him? You know what I mean? Or am I just seeing this career professional, got it all together? I almost don't want to see you with it all together. I want to see you break down. I want to see things being rough with you. I think that's how I get to really know you and who you are. And I think I'm able to fit in better with that because I think we can all relate to not having it all together more than we can relate to having it all together. You know what I mean? And I think that's a perfect building moment. And I think, honestly, that's what dating and relationships is all about, building together. If there's nothing to build on, if you have it all together, if you're 100%, you know what I mean? Like, where do I come in? Like, how do we build? How do we really connect if I'm not really helping you become what you're trying to become? You said something else, and I forget. What else did you say that I wanted to piggyback on? I forgot.
I said a lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I forgot. It's okay. We'll probably circle back to it. So I have here sexual expectations in dating. Should there be? Like, do I want to get in a relationship with a person I've never had sex with? Is that like a thing? You know what I mean? And I know for you, like you for sure can definitely probably do that. But I'm just saying, like, in general sense, should we care about that part in the dating phase?
I think you should, because it's an important part. Like,
Yeah.
Sex is important.
Yeah.
I think it's important to have the conversation of what your expectations are. Mm-hmm. That way, if y'all do decide to be committed and everything, ain't no surprises.
Right.
And be real. Like, if you can't add up, if you can't show up every time, be real. Like, look, I know your expectations are this. I know you want it every day, twice a day. I am not wired that way.
Yeah.
And be honest. Like, we need to create space of safety in relationships.
Yeah.
Like, just be real. Like, look, I know you want it at this time, but at this time I get home from work and I'll be tired.
Right.
Like, you just got to be real and have those realistic expectations, but also be willing to pivot. Like, okay, cool. So what about on like Monday, Tuesday, and Friday? Like, but you have to be intentional, because it shows your partner that you are willing to try to make this work.
Yeah. So if we're not talking about partnership, we just talking about dating.
Yeah.
You feel like in the dating phase, we should at least have the conversations about sexual expectations.
Yeah. Why not?
That makes sense. I mean, nothing should really be off the table.
Because let's be real. At some point, you're going to be thinking about it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
At some point.
Of course.
Now, I ain't saying, act on it. That's your choice.
Right.
Yeah. But I think it is an important conversation, because sex is an important part of a relationship.
Do you think that outside like if we actually engaged in sexual activity while we're dating, do you think that can mess things up?
It can.
So how so?
Because I think once you give a very valuable piece of yourself to that person, it kind of sticks with you for a while. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it takes a long time to like break that soul tie.
Yeah.
And because I think we've made sex so common.
Yeah.
It's no longer sacred.
Right.
And so,
but it really is. We pretend it's not. I think.
We pretend it's not, but it's a very sacred thing that God created.
Yeah.
And so I believe you should be intentional about sex. Like, it's
about not having it or
about
having it.
not having it or having it. So yeah, I think it's such a sacred thing.
Yeah.
And it should be held at a more valuable standard.
Yeah.
But because the way society
of course.
We think about it like it's in a blink of an eye. It's like it's just sex, and it's like, well, really, it's more than that for real. Like,
scientifically, it is not just sex. You can take the religion out of it. It is not just sex scientifically.
And it, like I said, you give a very sacred piece of yourself to this person.
Yeah,
and,
I 100% believe in soul ties.
And so it's really hard to really break that soul tie.
Yeah.
And so I think it is important to talk about. It is important to be intentional about it.
Yeah, I think that, and I'm not saying that it doesn't work any other way, but I do believe that you shouldn't do it while you're dating. Have
Agreed.
I practiced that all the time? Absolutely not.
Heck no.
I kind of wish I had, though. Just because this is the way I look at it, especially for women. And I don't know if it's you can get the perspective on the men's side, but I feel like especially for women, like once we do that, we go together. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and we may not admit that, we may not say that, we may not, we may act like we all good, but secretly we're so heavily concerned about, now we're concerned about exclusivity. Am I saying that right?
Exclusivity. Yeah.
We're concerned about, whether you're dating someone else, and that we're concerned about all these other things. And I feel like all of that energy takes away from actually getting to know the person. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if the dating phase is just you really intentional about the internal factors of a person, sex is kind of it's internal, but it's an external, I feel like, activity, if that makes sense. And it's not really something that you get. It doesn't tell you anything about a person's mental. It doesn't tell you much about, and I could be wrong, it's just my opinion. It doesn't really give you anything about a person's core values or, what they believe in and all of these things. It's not a part of the makeup of who they are. You know what I mean? And I think that's why I think it 100% messes things up in dating, is that we are kind of so quick to have this sexual connection with someone, but we don't have a mental connection with them. We don't have a real spiritual connection with them. We just have this physical. Technically, we do have a spiritual connection with them, but we haven't really made sense of it yet in the terms of mental. You know what I mean? Like, we created this spiritual, physical connection with someone that we don't know, I guess essentially is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
And it's just like, I think that's pretty dangerous. And I think that could, one, mess up yourself, because there's actually, and I want to talk about that when we talk about sexual health. That's going to be a topic. Dang, I lost my train of thought. So there's this idea, and I think we already talked about this with promiscuity, how that changes your identity. Like, the more sexual partners you have, the less of who you are. Like, the less of you that you know what I mean? Like, they say the more promiscuous you are, the more likely you are to have identity crisis. You just don't know who you are anymore. You're giving so much. You're giving pieces of yourself to every sexual partner you have. So when you think about that, I 100% don't believe it should ever be in the dating scene. You know what I mean? But I can't say that I am that person that have done that. I'm not trying to speak on a high horse. That's not what this is. But I'm talking to myself. You know what I mean? Like, when you're dating, sex shouldn't really be a part of that, because you shouldn't be giving a piece of yourself to somebody that you're not in tune with that way yet. You know what I'm saying?
Or that you don't have any intentions of longevity with.
Right.
AKA marriage.
Right.
And it's because from a man's perspective, men need sex. Like,
absolutely.
I don't.
Oh man.
We need it. I don't really know how much else.
Oh Lord.
I don't know how much else to say it. I don't know if there's another way.
Can we stop the whole excuses as women to, you know what I mean? There's a lot of excuses out there on the women end.
Men need it.
Yeah.
I mean, the moment we have that moment of just release, we function so much better.
Really?
What, girl?
That is funny.
I'm serious.
And that's interesting too. Like, I can't wait to talk about that, because I want to talk about the gender differences and what sex does for men, what sex does for women, and all of those things. Because it gets deep, and I think that's just it's something that we don't talk about it enough on a deeper level. I feel like it's just all this surface stuff. Like, like I was just saying, we shouldn't have sex during dating, but it's such a deeper meaning. It's such a deeper like reasoning for that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I can't wait to get into that.
And so I think for men, it's really a matter of, I think it's been so engraved in our brains that it's just sex, that once you bust one, it's like, cool. The feeling of it, which is how you know you really ain't feeling this person for real.
That is so weird. I don't even understand. Because in the moment, I don't even want to.
In the moment.
Yeah. It is what
in the moment.
Great.
In those 5 minutes. It's those glorious 5 to 7 minutes. It's really just
5 to 7 for sure.
It's really just amazing. And you think it's about this person.
Yeah.
But the moment it's all over, you kind of just like,
yeah.
All right. I'll see you hopefully. Maybe.
Oh my God. Yeah.
You know?
And it's the opposite for women. And I'm just that blows my mind.
But it should tell a man though.
Yeah.
This ain't what I want it to be.
Right.
You know, it's like if you don't have that thought process of, man, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Then you are already you're further gone than what you think you are. which tells me most of your relationships probably aren't that healthy.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And that's why I said, just go back to me just believing that this sexual encounters in the dating phase is just, it's too dangerous to risk, in my opinion. And I think especially for women, especially just hearing what Dave just said, like, we know after that if we really like you or not. So just imagine it being the opposite of women and that happen. You know what I mean? That's just like, you just got heartbroken and you just only been on 3 dates with this man. Like,
right.
You just, when you could have just been dating him and that's it. You know what I mean? And there's, it is what it is. So yeah, I definitely want to dive into sex, just touching base on it today, but I definitely want to dive into that. Because it's such an interesting and important topic. So what do we think about, did you have something else to say? I'm sorry. I'm just moving on.
Go ahead.
Financial expectations. And I hate talking about it. I honestly hate talking about the financial expectations of dating, which we kind of touched on with like, the materialistic things. But what I kind of wanted to touch base on with financial expectations is this idea that, and I hear it so much and I'm getting sick of hearing it, Black men being intimidated by women with money. What do you feel about that? Do you think that's real?
I do.
Okay.
On a personal note, okay. I've never been affected by it.
Okay. So you can date a woman that makes way more than you and not
my
feel
wife
like
right now makes more money than I do.
Okay.
Our
yeah,
entire
I heard you did say that.
Relationship, she has made more money than me.
Okay. And it's never made you feel like a little insecure as a man?
No, because my focus was her. Yeah. Now, if you are not careful, though, outside voices will make you insecure about it.
Yeah, it remind me of that episode of Martin. I don't know if you remember that episode where he found out Gina made more to him, and it just was like, he just went crazy.
Right.
But it was only because the people, his friends, was talking to him
and it
about
was just like,
yeah,
no, I'm not with her for her money. Like, everything she can do for herself. Right. It's not, it was never the money that attracted my wife to me. Yeah. Or me to my wife. Right. My wife knew I came here with nothing. I started over. Yeah. I just happened to meet a woman that I was attracted to, that I liked. Yeah. And so the thing she did, though, it was never like I was driving her car. Yeah. And everything. And she helped me a lot of the times. Right. And early on, we just became a team. Yeah. Which made me want to marry her. Yeah. And so I think the financial part, I do think it's important. I do think it needs to be a conversation because you should have goals. Yeah. Don't nobody want to be retired and broke. Right. Like, no disrespect to anybody who like works at Walmart and is like 68 years old. I don't want that.
Don't want that for my life, but more power to you, baby.
I don't want to be a greeter at Walmart.
Let's not.
No, I don't. I don't either. But that's me.
I actually didn't even want to be it as a teenager, actually.
Me neither. I was like, this looks boring, and I'm pretty sure y'all get paid like $5 an hour. No.
Shut up. But you start off by saying, yes, you think black men are intimidated by black women who are successful.
But I think they're intimidated because.
So what does that even look like? What does an intimidated black man looks like with a black woman? Insecure?
Oh, very insecure. But it speaks to your pride than it does what she's doing. Yeah. Now, it should tell you a lot if you are with this woman and she makes you feel less than because you don't have as much as her.
And that's what I was going to ask.
In the bank account. Right. That means she's trash and you should keep it moving.
Because it's like, are men intimidated or are women intimidating?
I think it's both. Yeah. It reminds me of that movie Acrimony. You ever seen that movie?
Of course I seen that movie. Boy, I got into 17 debates about it.
And a lot of people.
Who was right and who was wrong, Dave? Real quick. Right. Who was right, who was wrong?
They both were wrong.
Who was less wrong?
No. No.
I don't know. I feel like she was a little bit less wrong.
No. Let me tell you where she messed up for real, though.
Yeah.
Her family, she let her sisters talk to her way too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then,
she didn't make her own decision.
For some reason, when it comes to this debate, here's the part that everybody is missing.
What they missing, Dave? Talk to
the man gave her a check and apologized.
That's what my daughter's dad said. He gave the money back, but it don't matter.
No. Not only did he give her the money.
She didn't want that.
Not only did he get, that's her problem. Not only did he give her the money, he apologized. He made it right. No. So it shows me that it has everything to do with her unforgiveness.
Okay.
And everything to do with her ego and the fact that she can't let it
go.
Her
entitlement.
Because the real problem is you feel bad because now you are missing out.
Yeah.
Because now you like are living in the area of regret, which is a very dangerous place to live in.
Yeah.
So was he wrong at first in the beginning? Yeah. And it also showed me that you should probably not walk around with all this bitterness after he made the mistake.
Yeah.
You chose to stay.
Yeah. Because he only cheated on her once. Not like he was a habitual cheater.
He only did it one time, learned his lesson. Her nosy ass sisters found the purse or wallet, whatever, in the truck.
Yeah.
And made up a story without getting all the facts.
Right.
Which made your crazy ass.
Yeah, she had mental issues.
What?
Yeah.
But let's just focus on the fact that he was wrong. No.
I don't think. I guess it sucks because I get it though. You know what I mean? And it's very hard to even grasp that whole situation because I do get it from a woman's standpoint of I held you down. You know what I mean? Yes, you gave me the money back, but holding somebody down, I gave years to you. I gave more than just money to you. I gave my life to you. Mm-hmm. And in exchange for that, I get a check in my house back. That is not an exchange for me giving you 10 years of my life, giving you 10 years of my sacrifice, giving me 10 years of me believing in you, which really, that's what she was most wrong at, I think, is not really believing in him. I think she was kind of just holding him down, but I don't think she really believed in him like that. And I think that if she would have believed in him, I think they would have had a different story.
But also, of course, but also it's like, yes, you gave all those years to him. In the same way you chose to give those 10 years to him, you chose to listen to your sisters and you chose to leave and walk away. And
it was your choice that led to all of this
and
stuff.
These are and
honestly, she was probably more mad at herself than she was at him.
Of course. Yeah. And instead of taking a moment and being like, what in the world is wrong with me?
And you know what that made me think about? So now I'm going to retract my statement. And I just be saying that just because I be wanting to be on the woman's side. But when I think about it now, you know, as a growing adult now, right? The way she valued him as a man was all wrong anyway. Because you walking away had everything to do with the external factors of a man and how we use the external factors of a man to measure what a man really is. If you would have looked at him as what he valued, what he's trying to do, who he really is, if you valued him differently based on his personality and who he is, you wouldn't have walked away anyway. Right. You would have been okay with him.
Now, let me tell you.
But because you were so concerned about being the only person that worked and being the only person that paying the bills, and that was all that you used to measure this man, yes, you walked away, and then you realized he was actually a good man, but you didn't realize that until he got the external factors that you wanted, which makes me really understand now that the way we value men is all wrong.
Right. And now let me tell you where he really messed up.
Yeah. So where he messed up?
He messed up twice.
Okay.
First was the cheating. The second was actually staying with her after she drove that truck into the side of the trailer. I don't care.
That's going to go into the next thing I'm about to say.
I don't care what you say, who you are. If you ever, I don't care how fine you are. I don't care. Go to a mental institution at your early age of 14 and leave me alone. But he chose to stay with her.
Yeah.
Not me.
And see, and that's so funny because that rolls into the next thing I was about to say. Are Black women really undesirable? So there's this like race war in the dating pool that when Black women talk about, well, Black men don't want Black women anymore. And I looked at the statistic, of course, 86% of Black men that are married to Black women. Mm-hmm. But there's also statistics out there that where people are voting that Black women out of all races are the most undesirable women to marry. But then when you look at the statistic, 86% of Black men are actually married to Black women. That to me says Black men are putting up with us. And you just said it. He shouldn't have stayed with her, but he did. And that to me was eye-opening. You know what I mean? Because I think on her end of things, she was measuring him based on all these external things, and he was really just loving her as a person.
Right.
And he was putting up with her as a person. And I think Black women, we just kind of like villainize Black men, like, oh, they want to date outside their race when they get money and this and that. And it's like, no, they really still want us. I think it's that we just don't want them because we're measuring their manhood based on things that don't matter.
Right.
So I just thought that was an important thing to bring up. When I saw that, I was like, wow, like most Black men are married to us. And they're dealing with our bull crap that we're doing, our attitudes, our craziness, our driving into trailers and all of that. They dealing with all that. They're not divorcing us because of those things. But we 47% of us will never get married, never been married because we don't want them. But it's kind of looked at as the opposite, right? Like They don't want us, but it's really us that don't want them. And it's because of the situation we were just talking about with the acrimony thing. So I just thought that was a great little, picture of how that all worked out. The dating pool, as far as like us being special, a lot of people, and I guess we already talked about this. I have here, are we really that special?
When you say we, who do you mean?
Just everybody. People complain about the dating pool. And my question is, when you complain about the dating pool, are you really that special? Are you really that great? Are you really that girl? Are you really that guy? Because everything we complain about, are you really just that it factor? You know what I mean? And it's just very hard to really believe that when you've been single for a very long time and we're all, some of us is in our 30s, pushing mid-30s, and we're still complaining about the dating pool because we just think that we can never find our equal. We can never find, there's nothing out there. All the men are gone and all the men are this and all the men are that. And it's like, are you really that special? That's just my question. Are you really that special where there's no one out there that can satisfy your needs? There's no one out there that is good enough for you. I just think that's just a backwards way of thinking about the dating pool.
Yeah, the answer to the question is no, you're not that special.
You're just not.
To think that you are that great, that nobody.
It's like maybe the person, and I think I put that, maybe the person you're looking for is not looking for you. And I know I've said that in multiple episodes.
Usually people like that, though, are looking for themselves and somebody else. And it's like, no. Then why don't you walk down the aisle with a mirror and marry yourself? Like,
please do. I do not want to marry myself. What kind of team is that? The best thing about a team is y'all all have y'all different strengths.
And you have your different strengths. You never make fun of the weaknesses.
Yeah.
You build on each other's strengths.
Exactly.
That's what makes the best teams. That's what makes the best marriages. Like, will you see eye to eye on everything? No. But will you have a healthy marriage? Will you have a great marriage, a long-lasting marriage? If you put in the work and build on each other's strengths? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And stop comparing, well, I do this and you don't do this. That's not a strength of mine. Why would I do it?
But I do this.
But you know what I mean? Right. Because I could easily say, well, these are your weaknesses.
Right. And we don't like that.
And y'all don't like that part.
What? I have weaknesses?
And it's just like, chill out, man. Like,
I don't have any weaknesses. I have no idea what
Like,
you're talking about.
Just humble yourself.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that's the best way, I think, to find love. And in the dating world, that's the best mode to be in, is to be humble.
right.
And not this, oh, I'm special. I'm 6-figure earner. I'm all this. I'm top tier. Being top tier is not getting people married. Being top tier is keeping people single.
Right.
That's how I feel. Are you really that special? No, you're not. How you feel about age differences? And we're going to wrap this up. We got about 2 more things. Age differences. Think there's an inappropriateness?
Hell yeah.
Like the Kevin Samuels thing where he talks about how men, even older men, should date women that are like 25. You think that's bad?
I think that's weird.
Why though?
What is your purpose?
Yeah.
For what?
People, I guess they feel like, okay, as women grow older, they can't have kids. Or it's less likely to be able to have
Like,
kids.
who was the Al Pacino is like all of 3,000 years old and had a baby last year?
Well, no, as women. So men are good. Y'all good forever. Y'all sperm ain't going nowhere. But our eggs be getting,
If that,
yeah.
I don't know. It's weird, man. Like, but I ain't gonna hold you. I did have the thought of having a sugar mama before I got married. Like,
What is a sugar mama though? Like, what's your, I mean, obviously it doesn't matter, but like, in hypothetically, what is your maximum age you would go to?
oh, I have a 4-year max.
4 years?
4 years.
That is funny. Older and younger? Or
Both.
that's interesting.
Especially younger.
Most men will, most
Especially
men will
younger.
date a 21-year-old and they're 40. That's a college kid, in my opinion, but
Right. If that's your thing, that's your thing.
Yeah.
It's odd to me.
yeah, it's like something named, right?
Like, what is your goal here?
to get married
Just
and
to
have kids.
fun? To get in the wheel?
I guess there's
like,
some mature 21-year-olds.
to get in the wheel? Like, to get the
To
life
feel young
insurance?
again? Are you
like,
trying to get your youth back?
that's the only thing that makes sense to me. You really want that life insurance money when they get up out of here. Like,
right.
you want to
right.
get written in that wheel, and that's what you want.
So Kevin Samuels feel like if you're 40, you should be on the clearance rack in the dating pool. How do you feel about that?
Well, we see where Kevin Samuels is now. So,
Oh my God,
So-
Dave. Oh my God.
it's just,
So I'm assuming you disagree with
we have to
that.
put that in perspective.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. I think he was harsh with older women. It's like, we can't do nothing about our age. We can do stuff about
Right.
everything else, but we can't do nothing about that. I mean, the years go on and on. We
And-
turn our ages. We can't,
like he was in an apartment with some LED lights sitting at a desk in a suit. Like, I can't take you seriously.
He did say some good stuff sometimes, but yeah, a lot of the stuff
It was just like,
was
what
just
do you
mean.
mean?
It was
she's-
just mean.
What you mean she on the clearance rack?
Yeah. Meaning like settle.
Like,
You need
for
to settle.
what?
Like you ain't
No.
gonna get what you trying to
do
get.
you know-
You're gonna settle.
I know a lot of women in their 40s and is killing it right now.
Yeah.
Could get any man they want.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing clearance about them. And
Say that.
and they look way better than a lot of these younger
Okay.
girls.
No, for sure.
So it's like, no, like
Yeah. Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about Kevin. I did like him, some of the things that he said. A lot, I mean, I would say 50-50. It was 50-50. A lot of the stuff that he said, because it wasn't just about women. He talked about men more than he talked about women. I think he just got more popular when he started talking about women, because women, we listen.
Because
Men are just chucking up and be like, yeah, all right.
y'all
Women
will
like,
spend,
he's going to go crazy. It's
Y'all
going to
will
go viral now.
y'all will spend the time
Yes.
to argue,
Yes, we will.
prove your point.
Write in them comments.
A man would be like, all right, nigga,
Scrolling.
we don't care. Like,
Next post.
that's what I know. My target audience is black
Right.
women because y'all like to talk.
That's funny.
What?
So I saw this clip of Ayanna Van Zant, and she was talking to this single woman, and she asked him if she would date a bus driver. And she was like, if he
I
owned
saw
the
that.
bus.
Yeah.
And she said, well, that's the issue, blah, 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 blah. And honestly, I get where women are coming from when it comes to like dating the equal man or whatever. But I 100% agree with Ayana just because, and it's just this one simple fact that I agree with her. The women who say that, and I think I may have already said that already, but the women who say these things, oh, I need a man to own something and have this and have that. He needs to make 6 figures. All of them are single.
I was listening to
all of them.
David Mann. He was on a panel, and he told all these women to write down everything they want in a man.
Yes, I seen that clip too. And he said, make sure you're that.
And he said, okay, now become your list.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it shut them right up because it's like, how you gonna make sure he got all this stuff? Your stuff ain't even all the way together.
What do you own? Do you own a bus? Do you own a bus company?
It's like he need to have this much money. Yeah. What's in your bank account?
And I mean, to be fair, a lot of women are successful, and those are the women who are talking about needing 6 figures. I'm a 6-figure earner, so I need a 6-figure earner. But the issue that I have, the only issue I think that I have, well, not the only, but the biggest issue that I have with women who talk like that is the fact that they are single and they're pushing 40 and they've never even been close to being married. And that's your mindset. Why am I listening to you? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense for you as a single woman who's been single all this time that claims that you want marriage, but will not date a man that's a bus driver. Maybe that's the issue. Yeah. So yeah, that's all I got. What other thoughts you got? Any finishing closing thoughts?
Listen, date on purpose. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Date with intentionality, because
go to Cheesecake Factory.
The way
them
I'm
avocado
telling
egg
you,
rolls is fire.
Now my last experience at Cheesecake Factory wasn't the best.
Oh my God.
It just wasn't. I mean,
I've never been a big fan of it. Just their food was alright. I mean, they might got some cute drinks or something.
I like what I like there. However, at this point, based off my last experience, I'm just gonna get some cheesecake and call it a day.
Well, yeah, they cheesecake fire.
Right.
If anything, we're gonna sit at the bar and get some cheesecake.
And then I'm gonna go to Cooper's Hawk down the street, and it's cool. Like I ain't tripping.
No, for sure.
But no, it was a great topic. Yeah, we're gonna continue this dating series. This next, real quick segment is called "Did That Really Happen?" And we all know it did. We're gonna talk about Katt Williams. Real quick.
Big cat, and not the little cat. Thoughts?
As a man, I do not care. But since we're here.
Yeah, you don't care about anything.
What was interesting to me is how he came in hot. Like Shannon Sharp couldn't even ask a question. And he came in on the defense already, which
I had a headache. If 5 minutes into the interview, I'm like, wait, hold on. What did he say? I had to rewind it. Like, what? And I ain't even 10 minutes into the interview yet.
And I was just like, I didn't even watch the whole interview.
I didn't either. I fell asleep on it.
I was like, well, I'm sure some things he's saying is true.
Yeah.
But I know there are a lot of things he's saying that is definitely a lie.
Like what? What were some lies?
You read 3,000 books in a year.
Honestly, I think he seemed a little off.
Yeah.
He was just like, it was something off about
But
the
my
whole
thing
thing.
is,
I don't know if he was nervous or if he was drunk.
But then he was like, I've never been on drugs. I kind of don't believe you.
Yeah, I mean, if you took
and if you were, who cares?
Smoked a little crack, did a little cocaine, like.
But also, the reason
you under the pressures of a celebrity,
and like you
be honest about that.
But also, it's like you bring up stuff like Kevin Hart, but it's like, but people know how hard Kevin Hart works.
Yeah,
and you can track the timeline of Kevin Hart's success.
Yeah.
Talking about he didn't really have a show in the beginning. No, it was in syndication. Like he definitely
I don't really
had a
know
show.
The facts of anything.
And then he said Cedric the Entertainer didn't have a special on Netflix. He absolutely has a special on Netflix. Like,
yeah, I didn't know.
And it's stuff like that where I'm like, For what? Like,
That's what I'm saying. He was a little off.
and don't get me wrong, he's one of my favorite comedians.
Yeah, he's dope.
Absolutely top 5, top 3. But it's like, when it comes to, because I can separate your talent from your character.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like,
are you okay?
But what is your purpose, though?
I just felt like he wasn't okay.
It had to be something.
Yeah, I just don't think he was okay.
Because also, it was like, these interviews happened long before you got here. So you've been holding on to this for how long?
Yeah. But he claimed he was around.
Like,
he was around. He was around for a while in Comic View and all of that.
I know what I'm saying is, when Shannon Sharp interviewed Steve Harvey.
Okay.
And this was long before he interviewed Katt Williams. So I'm you've been holding on to this? Like,
I don't know.
For what?
That's
man?
What I'm saying.
Like,
it's just like, I mean, I thought it was a very interesting video, like interview. 22 million views right now. 22 million views.
Which tells me, woo, people love some drama. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
And
we all know drama.
And everybody, what's crazy to me is like, because Ice Cube cleared the air. He was like, this is what happened. Because he was speaking on the whole Ricky Smiley thing. He was like, Ricky Smiley came in to audition for the role. Which when Katt Williams was talking about, well, I wrote the role. And it's like, but you also said there was 400 other comedians auditioning for this role. So how did you write the role if you had to audition for it?
I guess when he got the role. That's how I took it.
Now, that makes sense. When he got the role, like when he got the role, he embellished the character and added his own flavor, which is what they all do. Mm-hmm. But to say like, oh, he was never considered for the role. Come on now, bro.
Right.
You can't say that when you also auditioned for the role. Yeah. Like, that's part that just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm kind of just like, also.
Do you believe that Cedric the Entertainer and Steve Harvey stole his jokes?
Let me tell you what's weird about that. Let's say, I don't know if they did. The jokes are similar. Very. I will say. But that's just like if when 9/11 happened, everybody had a 9/11 joke. Yeah. So at some point, if you all gonna talk about the increase in prices with gas, there's only really one experience you're gonna have at the gas station. So everybody's gonna have similar jokes when it comes to race, when it comes to certain topics. Like,
it can go either way.
The delivery, I think, is what separates, and the storytelling is what separates the comedian. Yeah. It's just like if an author is gonna write about relationships, there's 50 million other books about relationships. Yeah. At some point, it's all kind of gonna sound the same. Yeah. But what's interesting, I think social media and the internet has made everybody feel like they need to have a voice. Yeah. Because I think I was listening to one comedian. He was like, honestly, it's been beef like this in the comedic world for years. Yeah. But it wasn't until the internet when it's so easily accessible. You can just
now we can see.
Now you see the proof, insight of everything. Like, and it's what's crazy is like Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley. They never really fooled with Katt for years. Mm-hmm. Katt ain't never fooled with them. So it's like,
I didn't know they were beefing. I didn't know nothing about any of this. This was all like,
it's also like none of our business. Like, which is why I'm kind of like, really. Like the point of you saying all this is what? Yeah. Like, we already know you funny. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And funnier, I think. And what was interesting? What was interesting?
It's not that hard to be funnier than Ricky Smiley, though. Right. Like, I wouldn't even have talked about him.
Like he has
no point to talk about Ricky Smiley.
He has his comedic style. You have yours. It's like, and who you're funny to is who you funny to. Who Katt is funny to is who Katt is funny to. Yeah. And I think it's weird though, because he would bring, like Shannon Sharp would ask him a question like, so tell me where you grew up, and he would talk about like somebody else, and it's like, sir. We're trying to understand.
I think he was a little off, because it would just be like when he would ask him a question, he would go roundabout. Like he would like, how was your childhood?
The Ludacris thing got me.
Oh, I don't think I seen that part. Was that at the end?
Oh my God.
Because you said you didn't watch it all. Was that?
I saw a clip.
Oh, okay.
Like he asked,
I don't remember the Ludacris
he was like, "Are
part.
you related to Ludacris?" He said, and he brought up the Illuminati. It is like, but are you related to the man? Like, that's what we want to know. That's the question.
Why did he ask? Was he related to him though? Because of the sideburns?
No, I think there was things going around like they was cousins or something like that. So he just asked. He was like, "Are you really related to Ludacris?" He was like, "Well, the Illuminati showed up," and we was like, "I'm like, well, wait." How did the Illuminati get?
You just never know what's going on behind closed doors, though.
You don't. You really don't.
Never know. There could be something going on, and it's tough because he did look a little off and all of that, but you just never know, like, the conversations that are going on when the cameras are not on and the things that are going on and the attacks that may be going on. There could be some things going on. There could be some real things going on that he probably didn't speak about.
Absolutely.
And, it's hard for me to just completely be like, dismiss everything. Even if Steve Harvey had an interview, I wouldn't dismiss everything he said either.
Right.
It's just kind of like, you just never know. I guess that's my point. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, we're talking about things that happened over 20 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know why it's relevant. I don't know why
it's
we
relevant
care.
right now.
I was confused about that part. Yes.
I'm like, dude, you still talking about stuff that happened 20, you still bitter?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what is it? What prompt?
You're too great for this.
Yeah.
Like, you're so funny. You're so talented. You're multi-talented. You are too gifted.
Yeah. When he said that was a fat Faison lie, man, I was in tears. Because I'm like, where did Faison have anything to do? Why?
And also, it was like a little disrespectful to talk about their wives. Like, it was so many people catching stray bullets, and it was just
like it was hit.
We don't.
Like, where did Faison have to do with? Why are you saying somebody a fat Faison lie? Man, I was crying. Because why did you just start talking about him like that?
I mean, it was just
Katt
like...
Williams is crazy. But, to be honest, to be fair, I've always been like that.
Yeah.
He had a whole segment
So it
about
wasn't
Michael
a
Jackson.
shock to me that he was doing this. But some of the stuff, I was like,
It was just how he was doing it. And it was just the setting of the way he was doing it.
That man said he could read he read 3,000 books, got into college at 7 years old, and can run a 4.4 flat.
Oh, my God.
Sir. Like, hey, man, I respect your hustle. I respect your gifts. But come on, man.
You wouldn't believe it if you saw the diploma. If you saw that acceptance letter, you still would be like, no.
A 7-year-old.
There are some geniuses out there. I don't know what to believe, honestly. It's hard for me to believe things or not believe things about celebrities. They live in such a, they live on TV. We don't know what the heck is going on. You know what I'm saying?
We don't.
That's the thing. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know if I believe that either. I don't even think I heard that part too. Because there was just so much going on. I don't even think I could focus on everything he was saying.
Here's the thing. I just pray he is well.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, I'm not even trying to be funny.
No, for real.
I pray he's well.
Yeah.
I pray he heals from any past stuff so he can just focus on the jokes. Like, we want to hear you be funny.
Yes. We want to hear you tell Tara Wanda Smith again.
Like, right. Like, now he was right in that area because she started it. He didn't come in hot. He was
he was chilling.
But I hope it's.
Yeah, I don't think he didn't seem 100%. He seemed off a little bit. He seemed
I did like Kevin Hart's I did like his response.
I didn't see that.
He was like, dang, that's crazy. Y'all check out my movie that's coming out this month. I was like, yes, sir. Cash that check.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's all that matters.
I really don't understand why we are so worried about other people's pockets. It's like, or what they doing.
Yeah.
But whatever.
We pray for you, Katt.
Praying for you, man. Hey, thank y'all for tuning in. We Not But For Real. We out.
Nah, but for real, tell me how I feel. We on that fire, tell me what's the deal. Nah, but for real, tell me how I feel. We on that fire, tell me what's the deal. Nah, but for real.